Hello, my name is Mike Johnson, taking you on an inside and outside video tour of this 2018 Tesla Model 3 long range. This is not the base model. This is more expensive package, the long range. Okay, if you want to go buy a new one from Tesla, I'm gonna show you how much a new one costs, estimated with tax and license before any incentives. Speaking of incentives, this one qualifies for almost 100% of the price to be paid for by the government if you qualify for the assorted various government programs. What does that mean? That means you might be able to buy the car for $2,500 out the door after you get your government money back. It's possible. I'm going to talk about all those government incentives and explain in detail later in the video. First of all, we're going to talk about this car. And if you're looking online and you're looking for cars for sale, and you see sometimes next to the price it says good price, excellent, great price, high price, low price, whatever, those numbers cannot be trusted because dealers are using dirty tricks now. And if you fall for it, you could end up paying 3 times what you expected to pay for the car. So that means if a car is $20,000, your total payments could end up to be $60,000 if you're not careful. So make sure you watch the whole video so you don't get scammed by another dealer. I'm going to explain in more detail, but in summary, you see a car for a good price or a great price, you show up at the dealership, and when you sign paperwork, you may or may not be aware that you signed for $8,000 in upgrades on a $20,000 car. Now became a $28,000 car. Plus you got a really high interest rate, and you thought, oh, I'll refinance it later. Oh, I'm gonna go refinance this at my credit union later on and get a better deal. We'll find out that you can't refinance it unless you bring in a lot of cash. You'll have to bring in $10,000, $15,000 into a $20,000 purchase to refinance it, and you'll say, ah, never mind, I got screwed. Watch the whole video so you don't get screwed. Okay, this has 119,000 miles. This car is still under Tesla warranty. Warranty's to 120,000 miles, but the battery should last the life of the car in this one. This is really clean car, excellent condition. We have another car here with 150,000 miles. There's nothing wrong with it. I've seen Teslas with 200,000 miles on them. They're still going strong. I'm gonna explain later in the video how to charge your car for best results, but I'm gonna sum it up. If you buy a Tesla for best results, plug it in your garage every night and have it charging every night. You're gonna have the best experience. If you think you're gonna be treating it like a tank of gas when it's almost empty, you're gonna go refill it. That's not the same experience as if you charge it every night. You can even plug it into a 110 outlet in your house and you'll have an excellent result. You'll have even better result if you have 240 installed in your garage, but it's not necessary for most buyers. Most buyers can do fine with a 110 charge. It depends on how long your commute drive is. Now for 2018, this is a manual trunk. They didn't start adding power trunk until 2021. But that's just one more thing to go wrong that this doesn't have. This has all-weather floor mat package, which I think is the $200 and something $300 option. One reason why Tesla is one of the best selling brands in the world, even if you think they're not selling, they're actually sold more cars than everybody else worldwide. One of the reasons is you don't go to a Tesla dealer and you don't get ripped off in the beginning. You order from Tesla online and there's no rip-offs. If you want to pay for extras, you can, but you don't have to. Whereas if you go buy a brand new, you name it, whatever brand new from the dealer, my own mom, we gave her a special good price. Go to the dealer in Tucson, here's your price, it's a great price, and that nasty dealer added $8,000 in stuff that she didn't need. Actually, it was more than that. It was more like her $24,000 car became a $40,000 car. And that's my own mom. Everything was set up, and they got screwed. And then we had to call the dealer and said, what is all this nasty stuff that you put on our bill? Take it off. Sometimes they can take it off, sometimes they can't. Sometimes they won't. Why should they give you money back if you already agreed to sign over the money to them? So watch the video and learn. Look how clean this car is inside. There's no imperfections on this car for me to point out. It does have the more expensive all-weather floor mat package. It's been fully detailed. Who did we get this Tesla from? You're probably wondering, maybe it's a rent-a-car. No, this is not a rent-a-car. This is the source of this vehicle was Tesla Motors from their off-lease and trade-in program. So the previous owner returned it either at the end of the lease or traded it in to buy a brand new Tesla, a brand spanking new one. They were so happy with this car, they got another one from Tesla. And Tesla has so many trade-ins and off-lease cars coming in right now that they're selling to other dealers like me. We bought 10. This is one of the 10 that we bought. There's not really any cosmetic imperfections in the vehicle to point out. Here's a big benefit for you. The registration doesn't expire until May 2025, and we're only in 2024 May, so it's good for another year. That'll save you hundreds and hundreds of dollars on the cost out the door right there. That's probably a $400 savings at least. And if you buy a different car with expired registration, that could be a $700 savings or a $2,000 savings. It's ridiculous the way California treats DMV fees, but you're going to save a pile of money just on the registration fees alone. And remember, we're going to talk about government programs. What is the VIN number for this car? Let's find out. The last 3 digits is what you want to look at. The last 3 digits are 558 on the VIN number. That's your VIN number right there. If you're buying the car and you want to notify your insurance, I'm buying this car, see how much they're going to charge you. That's the VIN number right there, so you can give it to your insurance company. Model 3. Even this little thing I think is an upgrade. When you own a car like a Tesla, what maintenance do you have to do? Well, the most important maintenance is taking care of your tires. I know for a fact your neighbor, the one that lives just down the street from you, they don't take care of their tires, and their little tire pressure warning is on. I don't know about you, but your neighbor's not taking care of their cars. This one even comes with a Model 3 license plate frame. If you don't take care of the tires, the car's not going to drive good. This car drives really good. They took great care of the tires. We did not have to replace the tires. It came with really good tires. They're not the original tires. The original tires won't last 120,000 miles. These were recently replaced. And they still have about 80, 90%, 80% tread remaining on all 4 matching tires. They all match. So those tires are good. Your brakes, you know how you have that car that you used to like, but the brakes would get the wheels all dirty? That doesn't happen on a Tesla because they have car brakes in there. You can see them. They look like brand new at 120,000 miles. With a Tesla, they use something called regenerative braking technology. That means when you push on the brake pedal, instead of your brakes getting all dusty and dirty in your wheels, the electric motor's saving that energy in the battery to recycle it, and so you can drive with that energy later. Instead of getting dirty wheels, you get driving farther. That's when the electric motors run in reverse and act like generators. Something neat about a Tesla, I don't know if you've ever driven a stick shift, you know, a 5-speed or 6-speed transmission stick shift car. This is not a stick shift, but in a one way it acts like one. And when you drive a stick shift, you put it in first gear and you stomp on the gas on a manual transmission car. If you let off the gas without pushing in the clutch, that engine will slow you down real fast. It'll go fast, and then you let off the gas, it'll slow you down real fast. Tesla taps into some of that, the regenerative braking, and they call it one pedal drive. Now it's optional if you want to use that feature. I recommend it because if you get used to it, it's really awesome. But what happens if I push the gas, this long range Tesla Model 3 goes really fast. Let's close this. Schedule. The software is fully up to date on this car, by the way. Going on a test drive. Turn off our hazard lights. Look, the panorama roof. Model 3 has the center dome light. Model Y does not. People get confused about that. Software. That's your VIN number. The last 3 digits is what? 558. 119,000 miles on this car. It looks like brand new car. They took really good care of it. They probably kept it in the garage at home and the parking structure at work, so it didn't bathe in the sun and stuff like that. It's a very fast car. We're doing the speed limit. We have driver assist smart, they call it autopilot. Okay, don't get confused between autopilot and full self-driving. All Teslas come with autopilot at no extra charge. Full self-driving is available for the car, but that's like having your grandma or somebody else's grandma driving you around who's 90 years old, taking you for a ride in the car. That's full self-driving. Some people are OCD about getting full self-driving. Tesla was charging $12,000 to get the package, or $199 a month, and people are telling me they've reduced the price to $8,000 or $99 a month for full self-driving. So don't get overexcited about the difference between full self-driving and what this car has for no extra charge is autopilot. This cruise control is really awesome. See those little blue lines right there? The car's cruise control is engaged. It's not convinced I have my hand on the steering wheel, but I do, because I have my left hand. And I'm holding the camera with my right hand. So it's complaining about that. Full autopilot computer, included package. And then connectivity, included package. And you have the long range battery. Let's go. Rapid acceleration. It gets up and goes. Teslas are very fast cars. If you get the dual motor, they're insanely fast. This is a single motor. It's like having a car with one engine. That's fine for most people. It'll save you gas mileage and give you longer range compared with a dual motor, which makes it go really fast. We have dual motor cars here too. This one is a single motor with a long range battery. That long range battery means even if you do live in an apartment and you want to treat it like a tank of gas and wait till it gets low and refill the battery at a supercharger, you can do that. This is your best bet to be doing that. I'm going to explain more about charging later in the video, showing you how Teslas versus plug-in hybrids. That's later in the video. Side view cameras come on when I turn on the turn signal. We're following a speed demon right now, being sarcastic about it. As we go around the block, there's no problems with this car because they took care of the tires. The car suspension and everything feels perfect. There's no clunking over bumps or anything. It sounds tight. The whole car sounds tight. This is a non-accident car. and it's clean. It's not wear, and I don't see any visible wear and tear to point out on this car. I'm not saying no wear and tear exists. I'm saying we looked for it and we couldn't find it. The steering wheel material feels good. The seats feel good. Everything looks good. The paint looks perfect. Engaging. Autopilot. Now when you're on autopilot, you can push the gas pedal. You don't have to. But if the speed it's going isn't fast enough, you can push the gas and go faster. It sees the stop sign and it's reminding you, hey, there's a stop sign. I see it. The autopilot computer is very advanced. So as we drive into the parking lot, I'm going to point out, we're going to drive past pickup trucks and SUVs in this parking lot here, and the car identifies pickup truck over there, SUV. It knows the difference between a semi-truck, a pickup truck, an SUV, a car with the door closed and a car with the door open. It sees people, it sees motorcycles. It tries to keep you from crashing. Now this car has all kinds of fancy toys that you can play with. If you go in this little icon here, you can go into the toy box. You can play with the different features. Let's see, toy box. There's all kinds of different stuff that you can do. You can do a light show. On one of my videos, I show the light show. You can park all your buddies' Teslas park at the same time and set the light show to go off at the same time. There's a lot of fun and games that you can have with a Tesla. So those things are available, included with this car. Apps, cameras everywhere. If we put the backup camera, that's our backup camera view. Air conditioning. It has something called cabin overheat protection. It has something else called Sentry mode. If you use those two, they use a little bit of more power drain on the battery, but they're nice features. Again, if you plug the car in every night, you're going to have the best experience. Let's open the front trunk. So there's no engine in the front. You can put, I like to say, when you go into Thanksgiving dinner, if you're the one bringing the turkey and gravy to show up, you have a nice place to put it. A plastic enclosed compartment in the front, where if something spills in here, it's not spilling on carpet, it's not making odors into the car. It's pretty nice. Look how clean. Even under the hood, the paint is in great condition and stuff like that. This is an extremely clean car. Don't let it get away, because remember, whether you see this price as low price, great price, high price, really high price, you cannot trust that, because other dealers are buying cars and they're lowering the price by $2,000 below what they paid so that they could say that it has a great price, and then they're tacking on $8,000 in accessories. You'll go there and they'll say, well, it has a security device. Tesla has its own security device. You don't need to pay $500 so a dealer could stick a fuse in there. Okay, there are all kinds of tricks. Get a can of Scotch Guard, spray it on the paint. Oh, the paint's Scotch Guarded, that's $2,500. They spend $15 for a can and charging you $2,500 because otherwise they won't make any money on the car. And otherwise you won't even come and see the car because the price is too high. So don't trust those numbers. Don't get ripped off. Finish the video and you'll see what I'm talking about. So now we're going to talk about charging your plug-in vehicle. On the left is a Tesla Model 3. On the right is a Chrysler Pacifica plug-in hybrid. This one is gas plus electric. This one is electric only. So the electric plug on a Tesla is a different shape than the electric plug on other vehicles. Now some manufacturers like Ford, for example, and we have a Ford level 1-2 charger right here. Notice there's a plug right here. You can plug in one of the adapters into it. The same thing applies for a Tesla plug. The Tesla has a plug and you can choose the type of power for your house. So a level 1 or 2 adapter supports either 50 amp, which the plugs look like this, these are big, or your regular plug like you might plug in a toaster in your kitchen or vacuum cleaner or something. This is the Ford 50 amp and the Ford 110. Now they have this safe adapters, so all you do is plug this into your charger depending on the type of outlet you have. So the 110 outlet, like you might plug a toaster in, these will charge between 3 to 5 miles of driving, 3 to 5 miles of charging miles per hour to your battery. If you plug in the more powerful 50 amp or 40 amp 240 adapters, it'll add about 30 or sometimes more miles of driving per hour of charging. Alternately, if you go to a supercharger, here's a picture of a supercharger, you can use an adapter. Using the adapter that has either this type of connector or this type of connector, there's one for each direction. You can plug in a Tesla at any other type of charger, or you can plug in any other type of plug-in vehicle at a Tesla charger. They're interchangeable if you have the adapter, which let's say they cost about $100. So this is the Ford charger. This is a really nice charger because this is the Ford level 1 or level 2 charger that uses those adapters. It'll plug into and charge other vehicles like this Chrysler, and because it's level 2 capable, it'll charge it faster than a level 1. Remember, on level 2 it'll charge 30 more or less miles of driving per hour of charging. So if you leave it plugged in for 10 hours on level 2, 30 times 10 is 300 miles of driving, possibly, depending on the capacity of the battery. Likewise on the Tesla, if you plug in the Tesla charger, which is over here, looks like this. It looks very different, but it plugs in to the Tesla. Now they have adapters from Tesla to, this is called EVSE, and there's a different version with 2 little prongs underneath. That's DC fast charging, EVSE. But Tesla supports fast charging through the same port. Now normally fast charging is not available at your home. It's only available at a supercharger. If you go to other off-brand non-Tesla chargers, you may not get a fast charge. I see a lot of complaints about the non-Tesla superchargers. Now those 2 chargers I've shown you so far are level 1 or level 2. Here is a Toyota or Honda charger. This is a used one. It has a regular 110 outlet, so it'll charge 3 miles of driving per hour of charging. And sometimes they'll charge up to 5 miles of driving per hour of charging. It's EVSE type, using an adapter, a regular, like a Toyota or Honda charger, to a Tesla. they plug in and they will charge a Tesla. So if you have the adapter with you, you can charge your Tesla anywhere. Likewise, if you have a Toyota or a Honda or a Chrysler or one of these other types of Ford that uses the EVSE style charger, if you have the adapter, you can go to a Tesla supercharger and charge your car there. So that's a level 1. These other chargers with 2 adapters plugs will charge level 1 or level 2. If you don't have level 2 in your garage, that's okay. You can charge level 1. So this van is got a gasoline engine and a big hybrid battery. So if you charge it up, it'll go 20-30 miles of electric power before it switches to gas. So you have over here, you have the Tesla, which is battery only. Now beware, some earlier battery only cars like Nissan Leaf, for example, Fiat 500e, they would only go 60, 70, 80 miles on a charge. Even the Toyota RAV4 EV would only go like 90 miles on a charge. And I'm talking about the newer version, which is the 2013 model Toyota RAV4 EV. Wouldn't go that far. It was electric only. If I whip out a calculator here, and I'm going to explain some quick math, that'll go probably 35 miles on a charge times 365. That's 12,000 miles a year. A plug-in hybrid, it depends how often you plug it in on how far you can go. But with a plug-in hybrid, you don't have to plug it in. You can drive on gas only, so you can take your long cross-country trips. As opposed to an electric vehicle, you have to plug it in. Now I'm going to explain how for best practices. Now for best practices, if you have a plug-in vehicle, you're going to get the best result if you charge it every night, or whenever you're not driving, when it's sitting in your driveway or at home or in your garage, whatever. Have it plugged in when you're not driving it. In the case of this Tesla, you have an adjustable slider here. You can set your maximum rate of charge, and by default, Tesla shows you on the graphic here, they recommend charge it up to 80% for daily use. And then if you're plugging it in every night, the cycles on the battery aren't going to be that much. So at the current location, it can charge at 32 amps, but this is adjustable. You can charge it more, maybe less. Depends on the power capability where you know you're plugged into and it remembers. If you live in an apartment, you're going to have a different experience than if you live in a house or someplace safely where you can safely plug it in every night. You're going to have the best experience if you plug it in every night, even to a 110 outlet. Even if you don't have the 240, that's okay, because if this car is charging at 5 miles of driving times, say 12 hours a day, half the day, it's building up 60 miles of driving. Now if you drive more miles on one day or less miles on another day, it depends on your commute. If you have a longer than 60-mile daily commute, probably by the weekends it'll catch up on your daily charging, even if you only charge it on a 110. But if you have the level 2 connector in your garage or your driveway, it'll charge in 5 hours from empty to flat, typically on most of these full electric Teslas. But regardless if you're charging a Tesla or a plug-in hybrid, you want to charge it every night for best results. Let's say you live in an apartment and you're thinking about getting a Tesla and you have nowhere to plug it in. How would you handle it? For best result in that case, you should probably get the extended range version. There's standard range, medium range, and extended range versions that drive a little bit farther, hold a little bit more charge in the battery. And then with that, you can run it all the way down to 10%. And by that time, Tesla says if you run it below 20% and you go to a supercharger, and fast charge it, it'll charge to 80% in 20 minutes, roughly. Not all chargers are created equal. Tesla even gives a tips screen. Look right here, supercharging tips. When we tap on that, find the fastest supercharger, navigate to the supercharger, arrive with 20% of the battery or less to maximize the charging rate, leave space between the cars, move your car after charging, and it's possible that water vapor could occur in cold weather because of the radiant heat. Those are the supercharging tips. Now compare that to this plug-in hybrid. This plug-in hybrid has a gasoline engine and a battery. So this one doesn't give you the same type of range anxiety that you might have with an electric car. Generally, Teslas don't give you the same kind of range anxiety that you would have had with an older electric car like a Nissan Leaf or Fiat 500e. These are longer range, full capable cars that you may not even have to take to a outside charger away from your house, not very often, unless you have an incredibly ridiculously long commute. And if you do, what are you driving all over the place for with so many people working from home? At A Buyer's Choice, we offer you clean deals without junk fees. We are a by appointment warehouse type dealer where most of our cars are kept indoors. You can make a same or next day appointment by calling by phone. Be careful about just sending an email or text, because for other dealers, you will just reduce yourself from a person to only a lead for a salesperson to pursue until you sign your future income away. Also, most dealers have hidden fees and costs that are added to the advertised sale price that you might not find out about until you are ready to sign. I prefer that you call us between 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. so you can be treated like a person and we can answer your questions for you quickly and politely. So you don't get ripped off by another dealer, you should follow a few steps from this checklist, and you can pause the video or take a screenshot of your computer screen. Here's a safety checklist so you don't get ripped off. I will, if you ask, give you a good faith estimate of your total cost out the door for any vehicle you are pursuing from our dealership, because we offer clean deals. When you go to a dealership, they have to make you sign a contract for the purchase of a vehicle. Now, before you go to a dealership, you should ask for a purchase order quoting all fees and costs. What you have to watch out for, and this is just a simple, this is a payment calculator, but this shows cash price vehicle and accessories. You have to watch out for that. These contracts, this is a simple purchase order that we at A Buyer's Choice can send you before you even come to the dealership, so you know how much your total of payments is going to be before you even arrive. Or you can even ask for a simple contract, which would identify any interest rates or anything like that. A lot of dealerships use different types of contracts. This is a simple interest contract, simple interest finance charge contract. This is a 2006 version. Notice this is a 2022 version. Look how much longer it is. They keep adding text and lines. These contracts get longer and longer. It's about 24 inches long. If you're given a long contract, that's fine. But where you really have to pay attention to is total cash price. Includes line 1, cash price vehicle, cash price accessories. A lot of dealers are adding $8,000 in accessories, from undercoating to Scotch Guard, all types of security devices that aren't even the factory alarm system, that may not be of any value to you, but they add $8,000 or more in accessories added to the cash price. So when you look at the advertised price, which is the price of the vehicle, you think you're getting a good deal, but when you're sitting at the desk, you're paying all this extra stuff. And look how many lines there are of stuff to add on, and 2 columns to add on. And then you have places all over the place to sign. Now these long form contracts are also printed on both sides. So if you're going to take your time to read this, I can tell you, if you go to a dealership and they fill out this contract for you, they're not going to let you take it home and read it. They're going to be like, this is the deal here and now. At a Buyer's Choice, we're a little different. We'll give you your purchase order, quoting you out the door before you even come and visit the dealership, saving you a lot of time. These other dealerships, you're going to sit in there for 8 hours haggling. Right here it says total cash price A through O might appear all the way down here. And then there's license fees, registration fees, tire fees. Those things can be added on. Total official fees, emissions. It keeps adding up. So a lot of people end up at the dealership. They look at a $20,000 car, and before they're ready to leave, it's actually $60,000 total of payments. And they're tired. They sign because they don't want to go home empty-handed after they've already invested an entire weekend. And then they feel bad the next day. What the hell did I just happen to me? And they won't buy another car for 10 years because it's going to take them 10 years to get over it. Now, if we send you a purchase order like this one, this is all your credit union is going to need. If you've applied and approved at a credit union for an auto loan, they can originate the loan with just this document, which we can email to you, or you can come in person and pick it up. The credit union will issue a loan to pay for the vehicle you're buying from us. This is a clean deal. It doesn't have a lot of junk fees added on. This is only one example. Yours would be specific, and it would include the VIN number of the vehicle you're buying and the odometer readings and stuff like that. But basically, you want to ask for a purchase order before you visit a dealership so you don't get railroaded and end up paying 3 times what you thought you were going to pay. You're going to be able to get the best car at the lowest payment, and you're probably going to know what your payments are going to be before you even start looking at cars. There's credit unions, banks, and finance companies, and if you go fill out a credit application at a dealership, you might be put with a finance company, which is almost like a loan shark. Not exactly, but the interest rates are much higher, so you'll be stuck paying your payments for a lot longer for a lot less car. So we want you to do some steps first before you head to the auto mall. Also, when you show your face at the car dealership and you signing loan agreements with the dealers and you're signing sales contracts or purchase contracts, you have to be careful. There are different kinds of contracts. The one you want to be signing is a simple interest or generic basic sale contract. What you have to watch out for are pre-computed interest rates. There are auto loans that are interest first auto loans. So if you sign your loan and think you're going to refinance, but you signed a pre-computed interest first loan, that means you may not be able to reduce the amount of interest you're paying. So you definitely want to make sure you sign a simple interest rate contract at the dealership when you buy your car. Now, if you buy it from us, you don't have to worry. So go to my website, mybestcar.com, and on YouTube it's spelled the same. The website is mybestcar.com, and on the website you can view all inventory. You can view our YouTube channel, 20 years of feedback reports, lender direct financing, vehicles on TrueCar, even eBay auctions. It will go here to cars.com listings. This is maybe where you want to go, and you can select the vehicle you might be interested in. Check the price. What is the price on the website? Click on it. See how the price compares to other vehicles, and we're going to talk more about that in a minute. Look at the Carfax report, and then as you browse around on the internet here on the website, you can see vehicles also on TrueCar, and there's a comparative analysis of prices, of how our prices compare with average. Keep in mind, a lot of the vehicles we sell are above average condition, have more than average options, maybe top of the line, fully loaded, have navigation systems, DVD entertainment systems, and assorted features that are above average, and that can make them a little bit more expensive because they have more bang for the buck. We also sell RVs, and if you want to see what we've been up to, you can just select view all vehicles and sort by body type, SUVs, in this case RVs and campers. And we're going through, we have 5 pages of RVs on here, and notice next to the price, if we don't have it in stock, it says sold, but the pictures are still viewable on the website too. For financing, we have lender direct referrals. We specifically recommend credit unions, like here's some of the better ones. Westcom is good, SunTrust is good. SunTrust is a neat one where they don't even necessarily need title to the vehicle. They'll just put the money in your checking account and then you can pay for the vehicle that way. But there's other ways you can browse around. Look at the feedback here. So who are we? You can go back and look at 20 years of since we've been a member since 2001, so that's more than 20 years of reviews, 100% positive feedback. Likewise on YouTube, you can go on our YouTube channel, look at our different videos, and if you select to view videos, and then you can select the latest, popular, or oldest. Here's oldest, and that's videos from 14 years ago, still up on YouTube. So unlike maybe other dealers that change management every 5 years, we've been around for a long time, 25 years. So with 25 years in business, we know how to ship vehicles. Sometimes we ship them to us, sometimes we ship them to you. If you're sitting in the middle of some state, even Hawaii or some other country, we offer local delivery, international delivery. That's a flat rack with an RV on it. A flat rack is how you load a container ship with a motorhome. Of course, you can put it on the roll-on roll-off ships. We've done enclosed shipping of vehicles. If you need an estimate for shipping your vehicle, just call us between 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. and we'll give you a good faith estimate about how much it's going to cost to ship the vehicle from us to you. Now, if you're in the middle of nowhere and you need to finance your vehicle, if you're not in California, just go on Google Maps, search for credit unions, find your area, and search nearby for credit unions. I'm doing it here for my area in Ontario, California area. And what do you know? Lots of credit unions are nearby. As you see on the screen here, we found Arrowhead Credit Union is one of the ones that popped up. I like Arrowhead Credit Union. I used to be a member. They have very good interest rates. So if I open up their website and go directly to Arrowhead Credit Union, of course you can go through your own credit union and check rates, see what they are. Here we go, 4.4% interest rate on an auto loan. You can get on their website and search for rates, see what loans rates are for autos, RVs, whatever you're buying. And sometimes they even estimate what your payments will be. Here, look, 4.49 to 23. This credit union offers tiered interest rates. So if your credit is healthy, you'll get a good interest rate, a really good one. But if your health of your credit is less desirable, they might still be able to finance you because they offer a higher rate if your credit is higher risk, but still that's going to be cheaper than going with a finance company. Here's another credit union, Altura Credit Union. They also have excellent rates, and they've treated our customers really well when they work with Arrowhead, but they're not the only credit unions. I showed you earlier how to go on my website and search for recommended lenders, but this is how to find it in your area. So if you're sitting in the middle of Texas or anywhere else in the country, search for credit unions in the same way. Find one that you like near you and check what their rates are. Get pre-approved, and we'll give you a purchase order so you can pay for the vehicle through your credit union financing. Now let's talk about the government programs. This one, you want to go, if you're in California, go to driveclean.gov. .ca.gov, like I'm showing you who are on the internet. You go on the California State official website. Then you're going to search for incentives on the navigation bar on the top. And then you have a chance to enter your zip code. That's mine. Enter yours. Select used vehicle type, and then plug-in hybrid. Let's do plug-in hybrid. Plug-in hybrid and electric will get the same incentives. And then also check the box income-based incentives, so you can see all the money. Look at the top right, $25,500 in potential incentives available. That's federal tax credit. $25,500. See right there? You've got power company rebates. You've got the Replace Your Ride program offered by South Coast Air Quality District. You've got all kinds of money. And we work with these programs so when you look at the price of the car, you can get money back as rebates, especially if it's a plug-in electrified vehicle. This is how you check. If there's no plug-in electrification, you might not get any, but you can still check on the driveclean.ca.gov website. This is where you go. So now we're going to go on the DMV website and calculate how much your registration fees are going to cost, and taxes. You can get a good idea. Go to DMV, go and calculate fees, and the easiest way when you're looking for vehicles is fees for a new vehicle. Even if it's used, use fees for a new vehicle to get you close. Then you can select the model year, the fuel type. Is it gas? Is it electric? Is it a plug-in hybrid? What is the purchase price you're paying? Let's say $20,000 or whatever it is. Enter a date in the future, not too far away. And then select the year. You have to type it in. This is a California government website, the DMV website. Select your county. Select your zip code. I'm putting mine, but you should be putting your zip code, because when the fees are calculated, they're based on the address you provide. We're going to talk about that a little bit more as we get along here. That's my zip code. Now, once the model year, so let's say it's a 2020, and we calculate the fees. So, sales tax on a $20,000 vehicle for my zip code is right there, and the registration fee calculation is right there. But if you enter your price of any car that you're considering buying and your information, the DMV's site will kind of calculate it. Now, sales tax, the DMV site messes up sometimes, so I recommend go to the CDTFA website, click on tax and fee rates, and sales and use tax rates, because every time you have an election, the voters that live in your neighborhood choose yes or no on taxes. So the taxes all over the state of California and everywhere else are very different. So you can find out what your tax rate is, because it's based on the address you're going to provide where the vehicle will be kept. So let's say if you're in Kern County, they have as low as 7.25%. That's the lowest tax rate in the state of California. But what if you're in, say, El Monte? And El Monte has 10%, but some of LA County has 10.5% tax rate. So you have to see what your tax rate is based on your city or your county to calculate your out-the-door fees. And as a dealer, if we're going to calculate it, we need to know your address to run the numbers like I'm showing you here to find out what you're going to have to pay. It's up to between you and the state of California and your elections that you participate or don't participate in, how you decide what your tax rate is going to be. I'm entering in my address, and then this is finding a sales tax rate by address portion of their CDTFA website, and it actually shows a little map of the city and shows this whole city is 7.75%, and it can do that for anywhere in the state of California on the state of California CDTFA website. Now, modern vehicles are built by robots. Robot welders weld the bodies together and stamp out the parts, as you see here in the video. Most of the vehicles that you would possibly buy are built in a similar way, using robots to do all the welding and precision mechanical construction of the body. Now this is a unibody you're looking at. A unibody stands for unitized body. It's the body structure. Once it comes out of the factory, anytime you do any damage to this portion of the car, then that's considered structural damage. Any bit of this, if you hit a post, you drill a hole, anything that's damaging this part of the body is considered structural damage, as opposed to a body on frame construction could be a frame damage because it looks like a ladder frame. If it's damaged, that's frame damage. So we try to get cars that have not been any kind of serious or major accident of any sort. A little bit of scratch, a little bit of dent is almost inevitable. That's fine, but we don't sell major accident cars. We don't sell salvage title cars. We don't want to mess with that. The ladder construction or the unibody construction cars, we try to sell grade A condition vehicles in excellent shape. It's possible there could be a little bit of body work, so ask us on a case-by-case basis with each vehicle. We can check and see if we're aware of any body work. Also, the Carfax sometimes gives a clue, but the Carfax can throw you off, making you think it's worse than it actually is. So talk to us and get clarification if you have any concerns about any accident. Now, if your vehicle is delivered by a transport or the dealership across state lines out of California to a place other than California, and first use by you occurs outside the state of California, then the transaction may be exempt from California tax. Special conditions apply, and that has to be documented.